All right, welcome boxing fans to another live stream with Fight Night Scores. Another watch along scoring session, should I say. This week we are watching the highly controversial Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn back in 2017. We've already got a couple of people in the chat. It's great to have you all on board. So a quick shout out to Adam's Boxing Show. It's good to have you on board. And Mr. Info is a regular scorer as well. Looks like he's chilling out in his swimming pool, which is quite nice. We're a little bit delayed getting started today. Hopefully Alex will be with us shortly, but already I've got on the line with me my man from 86 Boxing, Joshua. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, how's it going? I'm good. Just back in the mix. Loving the boxing action that is taking place, and I think that we've had a strong year thus far. So I look forward to what continues on as we close this chapter out.
Yeah, man. I just realised the other week that we're already halfway through the year. That is insane how fast it's gone. Yeah, but we've also had a hell of a lot of really good fights. So I think the second half of the year has got a lot to live up to. I'm not sure if it'll get there, but we'll wait and see. All right, so I think we should get started then. As I said, Alex hopefully will join us on the call when he can, and we'll get him in. But it's been a while since we last did a live stream. Unfortunately, life events get in the way. People go away on holidays and such. Everyone's been having a good time. I know Alex was away for a while seeing family. Sounded like he had a good time there. And I know that Josh, you've been under the weather a little bit of late as well, so hopefully you're all recovered now.
But yeah, good to go. I was kicking my butt for the last 2 weeks, but back in the mix now. Feel stronger than ever.
Yeah, great news. Okay, and you might have just heard the little noise there. Alex I think he has joined us and he's got over his computer troubles. Are you with us, Alex?
Hello, good day. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, friend. It's good. Good.
Perfect.
Good to have you on board. How you doing? We've just started the stream, so you just hopped on live. So tell everyone how you are.
Not too bad. Unfortunately, I did become positive for COVID, so I've been battling that for the past couple of weeks. So if my energy isn't what it used to be, I do apologize, but I am on the road to being 100%. That's the goal.
Well, that's good news. You're on the uptick, which is the main thing. All right, good to have you on board. So we're going to get started into.
Honestly.
Good man. We'll get started into a recap. As I was just saying then, before you hopped on, Alex, that it's been a while since we did a last live stream. It's around about a month ago, so there's been quite a lot of happenings. We'll just gloss over kind of most of the bouts. So since we last spoke, that following week, Inoue beat Donaire in 2 rounds in a pretty spectacular performance. I know a lot of people expected Inoue to probably win, but a lot of people thought that it might go a bit longer, be a little bit closer. But he certainly made a statement there. We can just touch on that if you wanted to give your thoughts and opinions on that one, Josh.
Yeah, I thought that Inoue showed up in a major way. I know leading into the fight, I felt that Inoue was probably going to be the stronger of the two, just given that some time had passed between their last fight, and while Donaire has looked good and was on a streak himself, essentially, Father Time is undefeated, as they say, and Inoue is pretty much in the prime of his career right now, and he's going to make for a lot of exciting fights moving forward. But I thought it would last a little bit longer, but Inoue got him out of there pretty quickly, and I thought that he showed that he is a force to be reckoned with. And as far as the lower weights are concerned, I think that opens the door for a lot of potential matchups in or around 118 pounds. And whatever he decides to do, as far as if he's going to stick there, if some of those guys from 115 are going to come up, or if he moves up to 122, I think it is going to make for exciting matchups in the sport. And hopefully we get to see some of those other top names in there with Inoue, but he's pretty much passed every test thus far with flying colors, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. He looks like he's a bit unstoppable down at that lower weights. It'd be interesting if he can move up again, like you say, and take on some of the guys up there. Alex, what did you make of the fight?
I think Josh summed it up beautifully. Honestly, I agreed. I thought Donaire was gonna be able to bring him, stretch him out a little longer than that. He wasn't able to. He said he's never been hit that hard before with that first round knockdown.
Yeah.
And he was never able to recover. And I mean, anyway, it's what challenges are there. At 118, there's one belt left with Paul Butler, who got it because Mr. John Real Casemiro cannot make weight. So there's that one belt left. Will he go for it? Will the business of boxing get in the way of that? Will he go up to 122? I think everyone will salivate for a potential Fulton versus Inoue matchup. So there's, Inoue's looking like the man of Godzilla of the little man, the big bad monster that it looks unstoppable. So definitely look forward to his next fight. He's definitely someone. Every time you see him on the schedule, you want to make sure that you tune in.
Absolutely. Mr. Info in the chat said that the monster in his prime, and that sums it up really. He is a monster, and he's a prime animal right now for anyone around them divisions. So yeah, really interesting to keep an eye on what goes on next there. So we'll move swiftly along. The following weekend, or 2 weekends after that, we had Beterbiev demolishing Joe Smith Jr. in 2 rounds. That was again another pretty spectacular showing. Beterbiev just seemed to be able to take anything that Smith decided to throw at him early on, which was probably a good tactic, but in the end, Beterbiev wins those kind of battles pretty much every single time, doesn't he? I expected maybe to go a little bit longer, but I did expect Beterbiev to finish Smith at some point in the fight. What did you make of that one, Alex?
I thought the same thing. I thought it was going to be a fight that was going to kind of get to the middle to late rounds. I thought that they were going to be a lot more timid because both guys are big punchers. But skills pay the bills. I truly believe that. I know everybody likes to see the big, powerful guy. Both of them were this. However, Beterbiev showed he has skills. That counter right hand he landed just was the beginning of the end. And he was just able to power through. Nothing Joe Smith was going to do, it seemed, after that was going to change what was which was the final result. Him getting stopped. Beterbiev looking like another monster, right?
Yeah.
Definitely want to see him against Bivol. I hope we are able to get that before, after Alvarez fight. Definitely, I think before would be better. But Beterbiev, the man at 175.
Definitely. Josh, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I share the same sentiments. I think that Beterbiev versus Bivol, that is a very intriguing matchup.
Yeah.
And I think it's because both of them are very solid boxers, or you could argue excellent boxers. Bivol, he started out his career getting a ton of knockouts. He was wiping through some guys, but as of late, he's focused more on the boxing aspect of it. So he goes the distance. But with their common opponent being Joe Smith, you had Bivol thoroughly outbox Joe Smith, save for 1 round when he was caught with a big shot, and he handled it pretty well. And then you had Beterbiev basically blow out Joe Smith. So I think that just makes for an interesting clash in terms of when the two meet up. I think we're getting the 2 best 175-pounders in the world, if and when that does happen. So I just think it bodes well for the division and the year in itself, because this will be another undisputed fight for someone to become undisputed in the division. And that's a good thing. We're seeing that more now here in that 4-belt era. And 2022 has been the year of undisputed. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all share that same sentiment. On the undercard to that fight then was Ramirez stopping Abraham Nova in round 5, I believe. That was a pretty impressive showing as well. I know that he was a highly touted Olympian, I think. Alex, do you want to have a brief commentary on your thoughts on Ramirez and what he does going forward?
So Robeisy, he was the one that defeated Shakur Stevenson for the gold. So that was his claim to fame. Olympian. The train definitely looked like that. Came with a different style. He had his hands out coming forward, found the right shot, and took care of the undefeated Abraham Nova. So yeah, we're looking to see if he's going to get a title shot at 126. I saw Top Rank just signed Navarrete back. So yeah, let's see what's in store for him. He looks like a real player at 126.
Cool. Anything to add to that again, Josh?
I just thought that Robeisy Ramirez, he's turning into that guy that Top Rank has put a lot of stock into. Abraham Nova is the solid fighter, and the way that Robeisy was able to handle him showed that he is definitely a level above, and I think that makes things very intriguing since he's on a fast track pretty much to a title at this point. I just find it to be pretty interesting as far as the potential matchups, and based on what I saw there, I think he can pretty much handle the challenge, any challenge right now. So it's just an intriguing fighter in a very good division, so sky's the limit.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's swiftly move on then. We've got a few more just to quickly gloss over. We can really briefly touch on last Saturday, I think it was, 2nd of July over here in the UK. Joyce got the job done against Christian Hammer. I mean, he got the job done. He stopped him eventually. A lot of people beat Hammer, and Joyce took a lot of shots clean going into a lot. I think that concerned quite a lot of people with Joyce going forward, how easy he is to hit, and whether he can be a real player at the top of the heavyweight division. There's still questions to be asked, but we need him to go in with some of the bigger names next, don't we? Really, just to see where he can go. Anything to mention on that, Josh?
Yeah, I agree. I think he did what he had to do in this particular fight with Christian Hammer. He took some shots, but he really wasn't worried about what was coming back.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that Joyce, he's one of those guys that he has to fast track it because he's getting up there in age from a boxing perspective.
Yeah.
What I would like to actually see is, instead of him waiting around trying to get the winner of Joshua versus Usyk, which isn't a guarantee, I would like to see him and Daniel Dubois take on each other again, since Dubois has somehow come across a belt at this particular point. So why not make that matchup again? They're both, I believe, with Frank Warren in Queensberry Promotions, so it seems like a logical fight that could happen.
Yeah, I agree. Could be. Anything to add to that, Alex?
This was not a matchup that really made me say I really want to sit down and watch it. Christian Hammer, like you said, has been in there with a lot of names. I believe Tyson Fury, Frank Sanchez. I saw that fight live, actually, which I'm really surprised. Frank Sanchez has a lot of support from U.S. fans. Well, it was in a Cuban community in South Florida, so maybe that's more what it was. But yeah, he got the job done. Like you said, took a lot of clean hits. We don't know. I mean, could we say it's because of the opponent or his style? That'll be, I think, remains to be seen because of the level of competition. And yeah, he's with Frank Warren. So I'm unsure of what the future lies for him. I think, yeah, going the WBO route is probably his best chance of getting a big fight. But however, like Josh said, it may not be something I see in the future. I'm sorry. I can't even speak. I'm sorry. But coming soon.
yeah.
Apologies.
No problem.
So yeah. So I remains to be seen.
Definitely, we'll keep an eye on the Joyce story, no doubt. All right, same day in Australia, I think, was this a bit of an upset? Jai Opetaia beats Briedis to win the IBF title. I'm not sure if there was any other belts on the line. Yeah, I guess I would have expected Briedis to win this one. He was the consensus number one in the division, I guess. Although he's been concentrating quite a lot on Jake Paul in recent years, hasn't he? So, yeah, maybe he took his eye off the ball there. But yeah, thoughts on Jai Opetaia and what he can do going forward? Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I know this matchup had been postponed 2 times.
Okay. Yeah.
No one really knew about this young guy, Jai. It was for the IBF title.
Yeah, that's right.
And wow, you know, I was in a Discord, and I saw, oh wow, Briedis is getting beat up. I was like, wow, there's a fight on. Tuned in, and I mean, what a battle. Everyone was telling me that Jai was up in the beginning, and Briedis battled back. But I mean, that kid has a jaw, which is funny because it was fractured on both sides. But man, I definitely would like to see what holds in the future for him. Whether it be a rematch, or I know a lot of people were talking about him against Okoli. Definitely interested to see what could be in the future cards for Jai.
Yeah, it's Australia's having a bit of a boom, isn't it, in recent years? So that's only a good thing, I guess. Josh, did you see this fight? What did you think?
Yes, I did. I actually thought it was a great fight. I mean, action-packed. I thought that Briedis was the consensus number one as well coming in at cruiserweight, and I think the Opetaia definitely gave him a run for his money. The matchup seemed to be fairly even as far as the stylistically, they just seemed to gel well and made for an interesting fight. Both of them showed grit in that fight, and it was one of the better fights that we've seen this year so far. And I think the cruiserweight division is a very good division. Sometimes slept on. There's still a number of guys there at the top end who can make for exciting fights if you match them up in whatever particular ways. But I think Opetaia being added to the mix makes things even more exciting, and hopefully we get a rematch of some type, because I think that those two would make for interesting fights, just given their styles, either way you slice it. And I know that Opetaia will be out for a little bit, but I'm looking forward to what's next for the both of them, and maybe even Lawrence Okoli is thrown in the mix there.
Yeah, true. Some good fights to be made. All right, let's move on. I know people are wondering when the fight that we're watching is going to take place. That'll be very soon. So yeah, this weekend, last night, Derek Chisora gets revenge over Pulev. He lost to him a few years back. My stream wasn't very reliable for this, so I didn't actually score it myself. But, you know, I saw a few rumblings of the decision. It was a close contest, and Chisora got the decision. Not too sure if you boys have caught it or not. Josh, did you catch this one? What did you think?
Yes, I did, and I thought it was a pretty good fight, pretty even fight, exciting fight at moments, certainly in different pockets. And I thought the matchup was pretty much a good matchup for the two at this particular point in their career. I didn't have an issue with the Chisora win. I thought Chisora might have done a little bit more to be able to gain such win, but Pulev, he did have his moments, and I think for both of them, hey, maybe the next best fight for them is the two of them fighting each other again. And I know that Chisora called out Wilder. That probably wouldn't bode too well for him, just given where he's at in his career. But another Chisora Pulev fight, I think that could be another bit of excitement, especially if they were to do it back in the O2 Arena again. But props to both of them for showing up, and props to Derek Chisora, who just when you think he's down and out, he continues to come back.
Yeah. I didn't quite like him mentioning Wilder, and there's been a lot of discussion after the fact on Twitter and stuff whether that's a wise choice, but you know, hopefully not. We'll wait and see. Alex, did you manage to catch it?
I did. I'm happy that I watched it as well, because it was a competitive scrap. I think a perfect way to describe it was an exciting mess. Two guys that we both, I'm sure most boxing fans have watched, for many times, many different matchups. A lot of holding. Chisora, man, he was coming with some mean body shots. Some crazy right hands. Pulev, Though he was competitive, I felt he left a lot of opportunity on the table, and Chisora did everything he could to take advantage of that. So I had Chisora winning. A lot of close rounds in those middle rounds, but I felt the beginning and the end was quite clear. Yeah, definitely an exciting fight. I do not want to see either fight again, honestly, though. They both should retire.
Yeah, I'd go with that, to be fair. But Buzz in the chat suggested he wasn't too sure if Chisora deserved the decision last night. He said it was a close fight. Mr. Info had Chisora winning on his scorecard. I think that was the general consensus. That Chisora did do enough to take the decision. So there they go. Also, then last night, just our last fight before we get into our scoring of Pacquiao versus Horn, it was Mark Magsayo defending his title against Ray Vargas. Was it him defending the title, or did they both have a title? I'm not too sure. But
Magsayo did.
Yeah,
Magsayo.
WBC, he had beat Gary Russell in the previous fight.
Yeah, that's right. I just wasn't too sure if Ray Vargas had a title as well. But no, he does. He won. He got the decision last night. I've not seen this fight. I've just seen the result. So let us know your thoughts, Alex, on Ray Vargas, his victory last night.
Yeah, so Ray Vargas was, I believe, the 122 champion, moving up. He had vacated that belt. He was due to fight. He had a broken leg. He was supposed to fight Gary Russell, who instead fought Magsayo. I didn't catch all of the fight. I got about midway, and like I said, my energy isn't there, so I did pass out. But I was not surprised about how the fight was going. Ray Vargas, the longer guy, I felt like he had the more skills as well, better schooled. He did have Nacho in his corner. So I saw him, using being able to use his range, also stepping into the pocket, connecting with right hands. So I was not surprised that he did get knocked down, but did get up and get the victory.
Yeah, cool. Josh, have you got anything to add to that last night?
Yeah, I thought it was an exciting matchup. I was able to catch it, and I think they matched well stylistically. I thought I hadn't seen Vargas in a while. I was kind of wondering where he was at, and then his name just kind of popped up out of nowhere, at least for this particular fight, in my opinion. But Vargas, hey, he showed that he's a real player there, even at 126, and I like the way that he actually used his length. He had some good moments. I felt Magsayo, he had some very good moments as well. I think the downfall for him was he was looking for that one big punch probably a little bit too often, and he should have put some more punches together. That said, I think that those two just stylistically would make for exciting fights anytime out. So I look forward to what's in store for both of them, because I think they're both still, of course, major players there at 126, and there are a lot of other exciting fighters at 126 that will make things interesting.
Yeah. Cool, man. It's pretty exciting fighters and fights to be made down at those lower weights. So, yeah, all good stuff, all interesting to keep an eye out for. So that finally covers the last month or so of the main fight action that we've missed. So yeah, let's move things along. Let's get into what we're all here for, which is the watching and scoring of Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn. Alex, I'm hoping that you've got a little bit of an intro for us here while I just get everything technical sorted out.
Absolutely. So, Jeff Horn, a lot of things I did not know this. He was actually the 2012 Australian Olympian at lightweight. He was known as the fighting school teacher because he was a former PE teacher before becoming a full-time fighter. Came to the bout 16-0 with 1 draw, 11 KOs, and he was only a pro for 4 years. Coming into the bout, he defeated former world champions Ali Fonica, I think is how you say it, and Randall Bailey, Miami legend, South Florida legend. Manny Pacquiao, I think everyone knows who he is, but just a little intro. Guinness World Record, Division World Champion, HBO, WBC, and WBO Fighter of the Decade for the 2000s. Named second greatest pound-for-pound fighter the last 25 years by ESPN, and 22nd greatest boxer of all time in 2015. He was a winner of his last 5 of his last 6. Beat Tim Bradley twice, Brandon Rios, Chris Algieri, Jesse Vargas, and losing the pound-for-pound great Floyd Money Mayweather, greatest of our era. He came in 59-6 with 59-6, 2 draws, 38 KOs, and he was the WBO champion after beating Vargas.
All right, that was quite the introduction. Perfect. All right, so on your screen you'll have seen some instructions of how to score and join in. If you haven't already registered an account with fight-score.com, that's what you need to do to be able to join our group. You don't have to do that, but you can just go straight to the fight link and create a scorecard. We've been a guest user if you prefer that. But if you do register, you do get access to a couple of extra features, such as the groups section. So if you want to go to the fight directly, it's fight-score.com/fight/Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn. You can also find it in the controversial fight section, I believe, of the website. I think I did that earlier on. So I think we're in a good place to just get to it. I think I've got everything set up. We will check the noise levels as we get going. I have forwarded us on to the start of the fight. No intros for this. We'll just get straight into it.
The fight was on July 2nd, 2017, July 1st in the U.S. So this is similar to the Kambosos Haney timing. You know, this is probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Australia.
Ah, okay. That makes sense why it's sunny and shadows everywhere.
Well, Dean Lonergan has lived up to everything he said he would when he brought him in here. As Horn opens up, landing a right hand. Manny hasn't landed anything yet. Horn is anxious, you can tell, but he's a cool customer. He's very calm. He's throwing some nice shots.
So for those people just joining us for the first time, we kind of watch the boxing as it's taking place. We kind of talk through it where we can and try not to interrupt each other too much. And then we discuss how we scored the rounds, why we scored the rounds, and throughout we will kind of take a pause. We can have a look at our scorecard side by side. And hopefully, if a couple of you are joining as well, we'll be able to see average scorecard between all of us, which should be quite interesting.
Yeah, nothing looks pretty about Jeff Horn's style, but he's definitely a fighter that comes forward. Seems to have no regards as far as what's coming back to him. Some toughness there, for sure.
Yeah, bit of rough and ready, but he'd been effective up until this point in his career, hadn't he?
Yeah, his trainer said that he has a rhythm breaker the way he fights because he's so awkward, which I think is a fair assessment. I believe Manny Pacquiao is about 38 years old in there, so those legs just, if you're not noticing, he's not using them as much already.
Yeah.
38 back then, so this was, what, 5 years ago, was it? Wow, yeah.
Exactly.
So we're just coming up to the last 30 seconds of the round. I think it's been probably a better start for Horn. He's been probably a bit more active around the front foot. That's my reasoning and logic. All right, first round over. Just quickly between rounds then. Just having a quick look in the chat. I can see Kaiser Koba's joined us. Great to have you on board, mate. I hope you're doing well. He says, although the fight was always thought the fight was very close, but maybe Manny did enough to win. So it'll be interesting to see how we all score it.
Yep. Yeah, you know, I will say that Horn didn't let the moment get too big for him, because this was, of course, a big fight, especially when you're taking on a legend of the sport like Manny Pacquiao. Even at that stage, I thought Horn definitely had a good showing, as far as he wasn't scared to just continue to do what he does best. He didn't let Pacquiao get any sentimental type of gain on him, and he's really pretty much strong throughout. I do recall that piece of it.
Yeah, just kind of those replays showing that Horn just plows forward, and Boz says it in the chat. He's a classic swarmer, and that's exactly what those replays are showing. Strong for the weight and not taking a backward step. And it's kind of coming back to me now. I've not watched this fight since it actually happened, and I remember that he was, you know, that kind of terrier, just keeps going forward, not letting up.
If it looks like there's a lot of people there, because there is. 51,052 in attendance.
Nice. Big stadium fight. I wonder how many of them were there just to see Pacquiao, though.
Yeah, you would think the majority for sure, but you know, give it to Jeff Horn, man. Got in the position. Signed with the right people that will work with Top Rank, and like Josh said, doesn't seem like the moment's too big.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing well in this round. We had half the round has gone. Still doing his swarming thing. Pacquiao's trying to figure him out a little bit, isn't he? But, you know, Pacquiao's not really landing much of note either.
Early in the round, you could see Pacquiao wanted to land that left at a certain distance, and just was not seeing the window.
That was a nice shot there by Pacquiao. Probably his most successful shot so far. So if you're watching and taking note in the chat, give us your scores for each round as they're coming in, even if we maybe not be creating a scorecard. Let us know what you think of each round. That was a nice shot at the end.
Wow. Interesting round for sure.
So I mean, there's damage as well. So does that swing the round? Because to me that was a Horn round for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Was it the head clash that did the damage?
Beautiful body shot there from Jeff Horn. Counter punch from Manny Pacquiao. Tell you what, Colonel, it's a great fight so
Look at that. Just that annoying pressure.
Yeah, it's relentless. So, quick comment in the from the chat room. Kaiser Corby gave 2 to Pacquiao. He thought landed the better punches with his left hand, and Boz has got it 1 round each so far. Thank you, chaps. Again. So we're coming up to halfway through round 3 already. What are we thinking, boys?
I think this round is definitely still up for grabs. I'm not really seeing no one really taking the lead. Jeff Horn's landed some pretty good, you know, to the body. But Pacquiao's landing these nice in-between shots with the jab or the left hand, but not really putting much into them.
Yeah, fights like these are always tough because, you know, we're going to get a lot of clinching, inside fighting, and lunging, all of that stuff. It's a matter of the judges' angles, what they see. Some favor the aggression of Horn. You could argue that Pacquiao's punches may be a bit more accurate when he lands, but it's all a matter of what you're seeing as a judge and what you favor, actually.
1000%. Both doing good things in their own way. Oh.
Just swinging for the fences. Don't think much landed. Man, that told, just that last 15 seconds kind of told the story of that round. Horn ploughing forward and then Manny doing some effective counter work, but you know, it's what you prefer.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Tough, man. Tough one to score. Yeah, Baz said close one for that round, and I agree. It's tough one to make a call.
I mean, just constant pressure from Jeff Horn, and then you know, Pacquiao picked his spots and landed clean punches.
So what we'll do after the 4th round, which is next, we'll take a quick pause and we'll take a look at some of the scoring stats. How did you folks in the chat see that 3rd round then? Good shot. Bowser sat on the fence there, giving it even. I like it.
You're watching Pacquiao, and you just want to say, hey, move your feet. But like I said, 38 years old.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little more difficult.
Yeah, Kaiser suggested that round 3 was the closest one so far. He thought Manny nicked it. So, fair enough.
Yeah, I think that was the hardest one to judge.
Yeah, so far, yeah, definitely. Oh.
That got the legs. Manny came back and caught him. Now Manny's juiced up. He felt the power of that right hand for the first time. Jeff landed one front. Caught him with the left hand that time.
I think the commentary can calm down slightly. Don't think he was that rattled.
Wasn't that big of a shot.
Just shrug them off, otherwise that would hurt him. If he wasn't in such great shape, what Colonel he'd be hurt. He's in the best
I mean, just look at Horn. Look at just the awkward movements, how he's changing his balance on his feet. When it looks like when you think he's going to jab, he throws the right hand, and then vice versa.
blood continues to trickle from that right eye.
Very square on, isn't he, as well?
Shown the hand speed of Jeff Horn. Very, very quick in this fight against Manny Pacquiao.
That was a nice shot there.
Yeah, you see that that's something he practices. So you got to give his his corner a lot of credit for that kind of shot right there.
these clean shots. They're going to take their toll, Colonel.
Sooner or later, that's the idea for Horn fans. Body shot loaded up the right hand and a whistle past the whiskers. That cut could be a problem. We're going to be past the 4th round after this one. Then if the fight has to be stopped because of the cut,
Looks like Pacquiao's finding his rhythm a bit there.
if it's Horn that's cut and it's a TKO, he loses. We're just about past the 4th round. He comes in, wings
Caught him again.
looking to land the right. He turned around southpaw for a second, walks into an uppercut. Gotta give it to Horn.
On round, another one. He's far ahead, mate.
Getting very excited on the
Is he
commentary there. Alright, we'll pause this in a second. We'll just let a bit of time go between the round while we get our scores in. Boz said Horn going for broke in that round. Yeah, he was going for it earlier on.
Are the official judges. But if Horn is not in front by a couple of points, he's right.
Alright.
Oh,
Alberto Castani, welcome to the chat. He's got 38 apiece after 4 rounds. Good to have you on board. Let us know how everyone's scoring it in the chat. I just need to input mine. I'm doing too many things at once here, boys. Just bear with me.
A similarity with this fight and the Cambosos, Haney, the Providence. I believe that's what they're called over there. Queensland did help finance this fight. Pacquiao had a $10 million guarantee, and Jeff Horn about $500,000 for anyone that does like numbers.
All right, I'm just bringing up our group. So if you were a registered member of fightscore.com, you would have access to the group section, so you can create a custom group for yourself and your friends or whatever, and you can join ones that already exist with an access code, which people have already done here. Kaiser's joined the group kindly, so that makes 4 of us, which is pretty cool. We can have a look then at how we're all as a collective seeing the fight. Oh no, that doesn't work. I know what's going on there. We're going to have to do side-by-side scorecards. But yeah, once that is fixed, then we'll be able to see the combined average scorecard for all of our inputs. So just a quick, let me just refresh that because I've put my score in. So just as an overview, it looks like 3 of us have 2 rounds each. That's myself, Kaiser, and Josh. And Alex has it a 37-39 to Horn. So that's quite interesting. So with that in mind, I'll have a look and compare my scorecard to Alex's. And again, this is another feature for our members. So if you were in the group with someone, you can, or if you're connected with them outside of groups, you can compare your scorecards side by side. So my scorecard here is on the left hand side. Alex's is on the right. I'll just make sure that you you are seeing that in the stream. Yeah, you are. So, first round then, we both scored that to Horn. Both gave the same reason, he was more active, and then we just had a difference of opinion slightly on the winning margin percentage. Round 2, we scored it exactly the same. So there was a significant punch at the end of that round, which swayed it towards Pacquiao, that was right, but it was a close round otherwise, with Horn winning, I think, up until that point. And then round 3, we gave it to Horn, both of us. We've just got different reasons, but the same percentage. So Alex suggested that he was more active, and I went that Horn was on the front foot. He was kind of ploughing forward, trying to make things happen. And then, excuse me, that final round is where we've had the difference of opinion then. So I gave it to Pacquiao for his effective counterpunching, and Alex went with Horn because he was more active. So I guess those two kind of work. So cool. We'll continue, and then we will have a look at excuse me, we'll have a look at how mine and Josh's scorecards compare. And just before we do get started back, in future I'm going to make it so that you can select 2 different scorecards that you want to see rather than just your own compared to somebody else's. So that'll be a future thing to look out for. Alright, let's continue. Everyone who's in the chat making a scorecard but they haven't joined the group, that's no worries. Just let us know how you're scoring it in the chat. So Mr. Info has said if only the last part of rounds counted, he'd have Manny ahead. Which I guess he could make a case he is trying to steal rounds. But otherwise, Mr. Info said he has the same as Boz 38-38. No, 39-38, sorry.
Forgot what a fun fight this was.
Yeah. It's a good gel of styles, I guess.
Good shots in there, cracking shots.
He's hit the body hard, and then there's no fooling around from Jeff Horn. Manny's trying to psych him a little bit. Whoa, the right hand. And that's the one, Jeff has a tendency sometimes to drop that left hand, and Manny's right hand can be dangerous. Horn has him back in the corner, and Manny fights his way up. Manny's power comes from those big, heavy calves.
See, I like to see more of that at Pacquiao's defense. He took a step back, he slipped punches and got on an angle. He's not doing that so much in this fight. He's standing there just, taking shots on the gloves, partially blocking. See that? That's, he pivots, he gets out of the way he should, but instead he's just backing straight up or standing still, making Horn look better than what it should be.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's probably, like you say, a factor of how old he is. Legs not quite being there. Maybe he was saving his legs a little bit in the earlier rounds. Can get to his boxing a bit later on. And we're into the second half of round 5 now, and I think this has been the best that Manny's looked in making Horn look bad, if that makes sense. But Horn there, still relentless coming forward, but Manny just clocked him there. Back to the jab.
Yeah, Horn is pretty active, but not all of it's connecting.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
He's got to get a piece, whether it's on the chin or the body, just to stop Manny from coming in. While with the left hand is Manny Pacquiao. Horn's positioning is good. Get a little squared up that time and allows Manny Pacquiao to come in on him. Jeff bounces left.
Oof.
Manny lets go with the head down. No ball Jeff Manny clips him. Fades through his fight.
Oh, big left there by Manny Pacquiao. All action in round 5. Oh, another timed left there.
Ooh.
Big shot to end the round. Can see that was a bit of a staggery walk back to the corner for Horn, I think.
Wow. Oh, how do you score that, Colonel? It's a tough round to score, mate.
I think the judges will be
Not too sure, mate.
Yeah, maybe come back at the end.
I can see either way that could go, so I think the judges might be split. Our job is not to score the fight, but give you folks watching around the world an indication of how it may.
Quite interesting hearing them commentator there.
So with
I
that said,
thought that was a pretty
I've got a 47-49
a
one still out front.
comfortable round for Pacquiao, to be honest. Thought he controlled it, he landed the nicer shots, and then at the end, quite a few nicer timed counters. That being said, Boz in the chat thinks that it was too late for Manny to win that, so I think he's giving that round to Horn, which is fair enough.
Horn's right hand was better than Pacquiao's left.
You know, I think you had touched on it. He said you said that he was making Horn look bad. I mean, we have to give credit to the defense as well, and you know, he used his defense to figure out, you know, where Horn moves to in that round and started landing the clean left. So I thought it was pretty clearly a Manny round, even though close, competitive, for sure. I believe it was a Manny round.
Now we see Manny Pacquiao in the red and blue, white on his trunks, and the Horn is Jeff Horn black and orange. Let's see if Horn can sustain what he's been doing as he practices.
Oh, big uppercut there.
Horn tries to capitalize again.
I mean, this Horn pressure is
Oh, it's
it's something to watch. It's definitely very interesting, telling the story of this fight.
sticking his head in a little bit there. A little bit naughty, that one.
You see, Horn looks very comfortable right now.
Manny's getting out hustled. Pacquiao's normally the hustler in the fights, you know?
It's a nice body shot coming in.
Pulling him in close.
Now we've had a clash of heads.
Yeah, Horn certainly doesn't care about the aesthetics. He'll get off his punch by any means. But this was essentially bound to happen as far as the headbutts and cuts, just giving Horn style. And
Yeah,
Pacquiao, you know, he likes to come in as well. So.
that's a good call.
Remember, we're after 4 rounds, so if that fight hadn't stopped because of that cut, we go to the scorecard.
It's high up in the head.
As opposed to
Oh, nasty.
very important to remember, folks. Of course, you
Yeah, that's usually an indication of some form of a headbutt, elbow, or something when you have it in a scalp.
no quitting Horn, he keeps coming forward. Then he bounces around to his left, tries to counter with his own right hand. Horn keeping the pressure. Boy, Horn's coming in and getting to that body every time.
He is all over Manny Pacquiao. It's a ripping performance by Jeff Horn so far.
So far,
I don't see an answer yet from Manny.
Boz in the chat, that was a funny comment. Horn keeps horning in.
you know, Danny, you said it.
Yeah, it's true. That is his relentless style.
Manny's so slick, and there's a long time to go in this fight, and it's close. We're in the 6th round. Pacquiao's been through the wall.
Definitely don't want to fight Horn if you're not going to be in elite shape.
Throws punches from all over the place. He's unorthodox, he's awkward, and he's effective.
That was a nice combination by Pacquiao. Touching shots
That right down the red box.
was something to think about when you're coming in reckless like Horn has.
Yeah.
That'll show you the hand speed. He caught Jeff that time, too.
So we've got a minute to go in the round. I think this one's wide open for the taking.
Both in the area of the
Yeah.
liver. That time, Manny gets his hands up and prevents Jeff.
Alberto in the chat saying that Pacquiao looks only slightly bothered by Horn's punches. He invites Horn in to create counter opportunities. Yeah, I'd go with that. I think the commentators are probably over-egging it a little bit when Horn does land. Don't think it bothers Manny as much as they think it does. Yeah, that was a good shot. I mean, he's still got his legs. It definitely moved him.
I wonder if that landed on the chest or the
Yeah.
chin.
It looked like the chest to me, but obviously backwards to the camera, so it was hard to tell. I'm sure we'll get the benefit of a replay. Although the judges would never, would they?
One thing for sure, Jeff Horn has come to fight and put on a great show. And I got him winning that round as well.
Yeah, I got Horn 4 rounds to 2. Here comes the uppercut from Jeff Horn in close. Smack. Right
Forgot about that at the start.
very clean scoring shot there.
Yeah, that was right in the beginning.
Yeah.
He came out like a mad dog.
Excuse me.
Well, I have Horn out in front by 3 points unofficially. Remember, I had the 5th round even. I gave Horn 1. I gave Pacquiao 2. Horn 3 and 4. 5th one too close to
Was that
score for me and Horn. I gave the 6th round. So let's say the judge.
the clash? It looked like it was a
Pacquiao.
chin. Horn's chin that did the damage to Pacquiao's head,
So no dominance here, but
which is interesting.
performance by Jeff Horn against a legend. An absolute
So Boz has given that round to Horn again.
Horn.
Alberto suggests that Pacquiao did the same, something similar to Morales in their rematch, trying to make him overreach. Kaiser's got it 57 apiece with a 50-50 split, so he's got it dead even. I think that's fair. Thanks for your input, guys. Keep it coming.
Better job countering Jeff coming in now. Jeff has got to get a piece of him with that lead hand every time. If he doesn't get a piece, Manny does counter him. Remember, this fight is close.
Another right hand lead that scores. Wasn't flush, but still scoring.
Manny able to get that right hand out there and hold off Jeff. Jeff has got to get a piece of him. He faded that time, and he's very fortunate that Manny didn't pull the trigger on his left hand. This is a better round for Manny Pacquiao now.
Good right hand there, but counter for Manny Pacquiao.
Solid stuff to the body. This is hard stuff. They're right above him. Just bangs him with the left hand again.
I think Horn there kind of, he's not being quite as marauding forward. I think that suits Manny down to the T, and then I think Horn realises that, oh shit, I need to get forward. Starts running forward a bit.
He catches him with a flush one punch. You know, the only trouble is that Manny's legs are so strong he can gobble up a solid shot. Although I have seen him knocked down.
I'm just trying to understand what was Pacquiao trying to do in this fight. I mean, was it he believed he was just going to have counterpunch opportunities, and that was going to lead to, him, progressing through the fight with his offense? Because it just seems that he's just being reactive in there instead of an actual game plan.
That was a nice little combo.
He's got to get a piece of him every time. If he doesn't, Manny will counter him. Manny doing a nice job here, but Jeff catches him, walks him back, but he takes it out.
We're not seeing any vintage double jab left hand. I mean, I don't know
No.
if that's because of him being knocked out by Marquez a few years earlier, but still, where's that aggressive Manny Pacquiao? Is Horn taking it out, or was he told to, manage his energy, trying to, save it for the second half of the fight since it's in the afternoon?
Yeah, I think it could have been just a matter of Horn's sort of awkward, aggressive style. He just made it pretty rough for Manny, and especially with all this head banging and flashing. Yeah, Manny probably, had to make some adjustments on the fly, because I doubt he probably knew much about Jeff Horn stylistically. So kind of when you get in there, a different ball game, especially when you have a fighter like Horn who just comes in with reckless abandonment.
Manny, I said it in the press conference leading up. I don't know who Jeff Horn is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he was not alone in that.
yep. You see, Jeff Horn sees blood, and he's doing what you should do: press on it.
Spurred him on that, hasn't it?
Makes you kind of forget what happened before that, and you're like, oh wow, Jeff Horn, definitely.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, good body shot and uppercut.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Oh boy.
tough. It's tough.
Yeah, interesting fight for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely way more interesting than I anticipated.
Yeah, glad we're doing it.
Yeah, man. Because I'm thinking, it was so controversial. Everyone thinks Pacquiao won, but I mean, this is a close fight.
Excuse me.
I'm not 100% sure where that second cut is, Danny, but it was another accidental headbutt. Let's listen. That is Miguel Diaz, one of the best cutmen in the world, working on Manny.
He's got his work cut out for him, Colonel.
Yeah, I was looking back at Pacquiao's record, prior to this fight, and yeah, I think it's one of those things. He hadn't really been in with someone like Horn, who, while he isn't like a very finesse type boxer, he just has a awkward, aggressive style, and I'm sure Manny, taking these head clashes and being cut up and all that stuff, I'm sure it probably was weighing on his mind a bit.
Mm-hmm. Just while they sort out this tape, just having a look into the chat. Kaiser says this isn't even the Manny who beat Tim Bradley in the third fight. He isn't boxing well in this fight compared to other performances. You've got to agree there, haven't you?
1000% agree. Not the same one at all. A nice little counter jab. He's been doing that throughout the fight, and the commentators have not cared at all about it. Never mentioned it. And I think I would like to see that a lot more. Him use that counter jab and then, bring in the left hand, which he hasn't done once. Yeah, see, there it goes again, the counter jab, see? And then he steps off the line. There, jab, left hand. See, Alberto said it the best. This looks more like the Manny from before, absolutely.
Yeah. Just needs to get back to boxing.
Making a miss. Look at that, bam, counter. I mean, it's beautiful. That is the beauty of boxing right there to me.
That was a good jab by Horn. And then a shove to the floor.
He said, he don't jab me like that again. Thanks.
Oh, it's a little bit scrappy. That's a good shot by Horn. We've got a minute left. I think this is wide open still. Manny started well. Horn's coming back into it in that second minute.
Excuse me.
Yes, he is. Round number 8 is scheduled for 12. We got Horn out in front. Manny coming on a bit.
We've got Pacquiao on the front foot now for a change.
Oh.
Yeah, Manny's slipping in for pretty good shots.
Yeah, he did. Jeff was a little bit out on his feet just there right now. There's no quitting this guy. Now Manny is battling back on the inside. Now Horn, it comes back to him, walk the guy back. Jeff's legs at 100% right now.
There, Jeff does the odd run forward, throwing. Oh, goes again.
Oof.
Back to that swarming.
Yeah,
Pretty tough.
good work from Pacquiao.
Yeah, I think he goes Pacquiao as well here. But again, it's not a decisive round, is it? It was pretty close.
I've got the fight 3 rounds
Yeah.
in favor of Horn with 4 rounds to go. Remember, we had the 1 even round. So this thing would be a little bit closer than what we have.
Take this headbutt and get down.
Right, we'll just catch this replay. We'll do a pause. We'll just hit round 8. You'll be happy to know Jim saves the day. Jim saves the day. I'm going to be able to show us some good analysis. Okay, we'll pause it there. So I realised that just the general fight analysis is working as it should be. And And since we're the only people that have been scoring this fight, because I only just added it earlier today, we can have a look at that. So, I believe on the screen now we should be getting the seven of us who are scoring it, which is pretty cool. Thank you for everyone joining in the chat. So this is this view that we can see now. Hopefully, let me just check. It's on the screen. Yeah, we're all right. So this is our combined average. So it totals everyone's score up for each round and then spits out the average. So collectively, we gave round 1 to Horn. Very close on the winning margin. The main reason given was that he was more active. Round 2 was to Pacquiao. And again, look at them percentages. It's so close. 50.83 to 49.17%. So round 2 was a really close round. And we got a couple of reasons why that was given. Round 3 was for Pacquiao, and it was effectively a 50-50 round, as shown on the winning margin. Round 4 was for Horn. Round 5 was for Pacquiao. That was more of a decisive one there. Round 5, 60-40. And then vice versa in round 6, 60-40 to Horn. And in round 7, Horn again. Quite wide again, 58% to 42%. And in round 8 was a pretty significant round for Manny Pacquiao. So all of us combined have got it an even fight, 76 each, 4 rounds all, and razor close winning margins. So that's pretty cool. We can have a very quick look at the round analysis if people don't know this exists. And I'm wondering if people are seeing the screen as it should be, because the stream looks like it's gone a bit wonky. There we go.
Yeah.
Hopefully that might clear it up.
Yeah, that's better right there for sure.
Okay, so this is the round by round analysis, and people can go and take a look at this separately, so we don't spend too much time doing it. But if we go back to that round 8, we can see that all of us scored that round. 100% of us scored it to Manny Pacquiao, and that's why it was a pretty decisive 61 to 39%. And then that's the breakdown of the reasons. So 80% of us chose the landed cleaner, more effective shots, and one person, I guess, the 20%, chose controlled the action. You can go through round by round and see the exact methods and breakdown of each round with a definitive average score. So that's pretty cool if people haven't checked that out before. So let's continue.
Pacquiao's been here before. Jeff hasn't. We're in the 9th round.
Look at that beautiful stadium.
Nice.
Look at
What's
that beautiful city.
very nice.
All right, here we go. This is round number 9.
Lovely right hand to the break box.
And you were absolutely right, Danny. You started right out the
Man, this guy Horn, is he possessed? Does he not know what's in front of him? The great Manny Pacquiao?
touch him with that lead hand every time.
Doesn't seem like it.
Because every time he doesn't touch him, Manny comes and counters him. There it is. Just all you got to do is just nick him. And it takes away the power.
So just quickly looking into the chat there. Last round, Buzz finally gives Manny a round, and Alberto suggests that it was a pretty clear round for Pacquiao. Fair enough.
What do you think he weighs? Probably
Keep your thoughts coming, guys. It's good to have you on board.
right now, after rehydrating, just barely made the 47 yesterday.
I haven't seen my favorite thing, which is pairing in this fight.
Shot Manny realizes he caught him. One knows how to time up and doing a nice job. This Pacquiao on the assault now. Horn backing off. You can't allow Manny to do this. This is the first time Manny's getting off first.
Yeah, this
That last punch.
suits Manny down to the ground. Oh,
I was gonna say Pac. Ooh.
Putting a lot of pressure on him now. He's got to hang on to him. This is vintage Manny Pacquiao.
swinging for the fences a little bit there.
Good work in there by Jeff Horn.
Albert makes a good point there, Alex. It's kind of hard to parry when you have a bull running at you. Very true.
Oh, I mean, he's feeling these shots.
Oh, that's a beast. Beast of a shot. Oh, and again, right to the chin.
Pacquiao turned back the clock here for a second.
Yeah.
Good work by Manny Pacquiao. Jeff Horn's got to hang on. He's got to hang on. He's fatigued. He's got to hang on.
He's in big trouble right now, Danny.
Oh,
Manny knows he's got him in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
Pacquiao proving his class, his strength, his experience. Jeff Horn's got to use his youthful vitality if he can just hang on and get a rest in between rounds.
Jeff is out on his feet right now, and Manny's putting the pressure on. Long time in boxing.
You see the blood
40 seconds ago.
all in the area of the right eye.
That's exactly what he needs to do. Grab him.
was this the first Horn war that he was in? I seem to remember him being in another one. It must have been since the Pacquiao fight, because
Yeah.
And yes, after the fight, he had a couple good little scraps.
Sean is a bit of a warrior, isn't he?
Yeah, I think prior to this, he may have kind of got on the map. He beat like Anthony Mundine, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, right,
Older
yeah.
version, of course.
Closing seconds. Horn stung again.
Definitely had him there.
That's a big round for Manny.
I think the biggest thing is do you give it a 10-8 round?
Oh, well,
Because
you know,
that was over 90 seconds of
that's a question.
domination.
that is a good point. What do people in the chat think to that? I mean, it could be a fair shout. I'm quite reluctant to do that unless there is really a knockdown. Unless, you know, somehow someone is getting battered for 2.5 minutes but stays up.
Yeah.
But that was as
Might have been
dominant.
2 minutes of a beatdown.
Yeah, I mean, it was as dominant as a round you can get without a knockdown, I guess. Refs threatening to stop the fight. See, this is where also our winning margin factor comes in, like how decisive. Because I mean, people might say, you know, that was 100% decisively a Manny Pacquiao round, but I mean, Horn didn't go down, and he was throwing back. So, is it really 100%? That's just up to how you see it.
Manny tries to time that uppercut, almost catches Jeff. It's been a remarkable fight, but Pacquiao turned it all around in the 9th round. He did everything but drop Jeff. Jeff gets nailed coming in. He's getting beat to the punch now, and that wasn't happening earlier.
And Kaiser said in the
Still not 100%.
chat, I think at the time he watched this live, he thought it was a 10-8 round, but Horn moved enough and threw enough counters to keep it at 10-9. I'd go with that. He wasn't totally gone. I think Buzz and Josh are having a bit of a scrap in the chat as well, which is good. 2 fights, 1 stream. Got half the round left. How are we seeing it so far? It's not quite as that.
I'm liking the Horn pressure,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems undeterred, which is a good thing. He put the last round behind him.
Yeah, when you put that kind of previous round context to it, I know you're not really supposed to do that, but I guess it's a natural thing, isn't it?
You'll hear fighters speak about it. It's like you hit a guy, you hurt him, and he's still there. You know, it does a little something to your confidence. Like, what else am I supposed to do to get this guy out of here?
Look at this! Jeff does catch him with a clean shot. Pacquiao battles back.
Kaiser, he got beat up so much, he got his legs back. Right?
Yeah, I just saw
Punched
that.
back into it.
Yeah.
He got the sense punched back into him, yeah. Could say that.
Colonel walking on his heels. He's fatigued. He's a little bit stoned.
He's up on his toes now. Blood streaming from that cut that they've done a real nice job on.
Yeah, I think it's easy to see that Pacquiao has slowed right down in this round, and regardless of if they both landed the same amount of shots, just the psychology alone, Manny looks like he's not as determined as the last round, and Horn's still in there. So
Yeah, and at this stage, of his career, Pacquiao, he wasn't getting many stoppages. He a couple fights from this one. I know he beat Matisse, but I think that spoke more of Matisse at 147. But certainly, Pacquiao hasn't been able to get those 147 pounders out like he did earlier when he was more so closer to his prime.
So going into the previous round, Alberto and Kaiser had the same scores, 8-7, 8-4 for Pacquiao. Looks like Boz gave that last one to Horn, so he's got it 97-94. So we'll go to the end of the fight, and then we'll have a look at the analysis again. Kind of look at some individuals' scorecards as well. But this is good stuff, man. And really good fight.
Yeah. Yeah, that eye is nasty.
Yeah. Into the championship rounds then.
6 minutes away from just absolute elation.
But again, in that ninth round, if the judges win 10-8, they well could. You got a dead even fight. People yelling Hornet, Hornet. And the Pacquiao people would chant as well. Manny not getting off first in this 11th round, so you wonder how much is taken out of him from all of his aggressiveness. Jeff Baggy, you notice that he touched him again, Danny, when he comes in. Jeff is certainly fatigued, but so is Manny.
So going into this round, my personal scorecard is 5 rounds each, 95-95, all to play for.
You know, when I watched this fight live, man, I definitely felt a lot different than what I'm seeing my scorecard looking like. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Can't miss. You've got to touch him. You've got to get a piece of him. Come down a little bit. Get him right hand.
Oh,
Good counter by Jeff Horn, but he got stung there by Pacquiao.
Pacquiao just got back to that movement you were just talking about earlier, Alex.
A few years ago, when after you hit him with that left, he would have unleashed a 4, 5, 6 punch combination. But you see, he looked for something, didn't like it, and backed off.
Yeah.
This fight, as the blood trickles from the right eye and the nostril. He's got to get off first. There's a lot of time left. in this
Nice little
fight.
body shot by Pacquiao.
16 seconds. Got to get off first. Watch that, folks. And he's got to get a piece from him. He's not getting a piece of him.
I mean, round 11, now you're talking about clean rounds. Ref, like, what's up?
Pacquiao will counter him. He's got his full wherewithal right now. He's tired, but he's still got plenty of bounce.
Yeah, I mean, up until this point, I mean, Horn's coming on a little bit now, but before this, Manny was looking fresher. Horn's looking a bit tired and ragged. Manny's back to his boxing.
I felt like those clinches weren't that bad. I don't, you know, the holding hasn't bothered me too much. I think
No.
the referee's being a little quick, maybe, especially in this round, making him part of the story a little too much.
Yeah, with the styles as well, you kind of expect a little bit of the clinching, and I don't think it's been too bad overall.
About 5-10 seconds ago, man, Pacquiao, man, he did a little bob and weave and pivoted, man. It was just a beautiful move. I just wish he would have punched while he was doing it.
It's like he's dancing. Oh, that eye is looking nasty. Yeah, I liked Manny's boxing in that round. Horn was pretty ineffective, I'd say.
This is either dead even or Pacquiao might be a point ahead. The way I have it, anyway.
This is make or break, Colonel. It's his make or break for Jeff Horn. 3 minutes left, and this will be the biggest moment of his life. Can he do it?
Remember, we had one round that was too close.
Okay, well then we're heading into the final round. What's everyone's scores going into the last round in the chat? Let us know. Let us know what you're seeing.
He's obviously had an incredible training camp, and then Manny just, there it was there. Came back and scored some clean shots of his own.
Alberto's got a good comment there. Horn learned that headlock and punch technique from watching his students fight in the schoolyard. Effective.
Oh wow, I did not recall that double jab right hand by Horn.
You can always change your score if you need to, Alex. So Mr. Info has got Horn 6 rounds to 5. Kaiser's got Pacquiao 106-103. I've got it 105-104 for Pacquiao.
That's the same score I have.
Alex is keeping his cards close to his chest. That's fine. And Boz can't make his mind up.
A nice body shot, right down the middle too by Pacquiao.
Another one again. So it looks like Horn's been told to go out there and try. That's a good shot. I don't think it was that big of shouting that much.
That wasn't that impactful.
No. It was partially blocked, but you know. Ref's getting involved again. What's going
There
on?
really isn't much snap to any of Horn's punches. It's just, man, he just keeps coming though. It's like, gee, stop. It's like a bee.
Yeah.
Get away.
Relentless.
Oh, he is called the Hornet, so makes sense.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, Boz finally made a decision. He's gone 107-104 to Horn. Okay.
Oh man.
Look at Pacquiao getting in those combinations of old.
Oh, he's catching Horn coming in there. It's good stuff.
I gotta say, I'd give Jeff Horn a lot of credit. He didn't get really hit by that right hook or that left hand too many, as much as I anticipated, especially as the fight was going. So, you know, Pacquiao was playing, you know, was not trying to create angles, and Horn was able to see a lot of incoming shots, ducking underneath them, also with his swarming offense to really mute a lot what Pacquiao did in this fight. Well, didn't do.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
Yeah, definitely seeing it again is just closer than I initially thought.
This is a scrappy round, man. This could go either way still. Kaiser's noticing the little glove rub on the cut. Horn sneaky tactics. You won't expect that from a teacher.
I definitely think Pacquiao stuff is landing more cleaner than Horn right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's been a scrappy round, but when Manny's getting his shots off the landing. Did that finish early, that round? It seemed to come suddenly.
Not much of that really landed. So.
No, it didn't. They got a bit excited for arms windmilling. Well, for me, Manny won that final round as well. So I think that means I've got him two rounds clear, 7-5, 1-1-5, 1-1-3. I just thought he was more effective counter punching for that final round. So we'll let the video continue playing, and we'll get the official scores coming in.
Oh boy.
See what all the fuss is about.
When I originally seen this fight, I remember thinking it was like an 8-4, 7-5 to Pacquiao. And man, rewatching it, It's. I mean, I I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I do think it was closer than I initially thought, but yeah, I think Pacquiao did enough, in my opinion. It's close, but a lot of stuff from Horn was pretty sloppy. So
Hmm.
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. He was aggressive. He was coming forward the entire time, but a lot of that stuff wasn't landing, in my opinion.
Well, Boz doesn't agree. Boz thinks Harm won this 117, 113. Kaiser's got the same as me, 7-5 for Pacquiao, with a 52-48 percentage split, which, that's really close. Shows how close them rounds were. Alberto says he's not a fan of ineffective boxing. Horn just came barging in, swinging and pushing, lots of heart, but not so much technique. Oh, the video stopped before the decision. Amazing. Okay.
Well, yeah, I do have the scores if you would like them.
Yeah, I'm just got onto BoxRec here, so I can also just get it up on the screen while you read them out.
Sure. So,
Go for it, Alex. I'm getting there.
Yeah, Jeff Horn does earn the unanimous decision. 117, 111, 115, 113 times 2. So he does get this victory. I actually did a little breakdown of it. Horn unanimously won five rounds on the scorecards. Pacquiao won 2, and Horn got majority on 3 of the rounds, and Pacquiao on 2. So
Was that
it's really
from-
interesting to look at these scorecards.
That was from the official scorecards, was it? Yeah.
Official scorecards, correct.
All right. Interesting. I mean, that 1-1-11, 1-17 is absolutely mental, isn't it? Let's face it.
Doesn't do the fight justice.
No. I mean, yeah, those are, I guess maybe that's what the fallout was. Just that one score just skews it so much. You say it's so bad that it makes people say robbery and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, when I first watched it, I felt like it was an 8-4 fight. But rewatching it, I mean, Jeff Horn, that pressure, that activity, and the lack of what Pacquiao was doing, I felt like really made it hard to score a few rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, certainly some close ones in the mix there. And, it's always subjective. It's kind of what you're looking for. Yeah, I think that the more effective fighter was certainly Pacquiao. But that being said, the Horn did a good job of roughing it up and making it look a bit ugly. And it's hard to, definitively just lean towards one side when you have a scrappy type of fight of that nature. But for me, I did like the effectiveness of Pacquiao in that fight, and I felt his stuff was probably a little bit more cleaner when you looked at the true punches that were actually landed.
Yeah. Now, I'm just looking at some of the comments in the chat now. So Mr. Info says draw rematch. Maybe they could do that 5 years later. Yeah. Boz says Manny just didn't do enough. Alberto suggests 1-1-6, 1-1-2 to Pacquiao. Josh suggests Boz needs to get some glasses. Kaiser said that I think Teddy Atlas had it 1-1-7, 1-1-1. It's probably too many ones. To Pacquiao, a lot of people had it 8-4, 9-3 at the time. So thanks for that, Kaiser. Always on the ball with your research and knowledge. Boz says none of us can score.
Thank you, boss.
So that's fine.
I will say I don't think it was a robbery, but certainly I thought that Pacquiao won, in my opinion.
No, I don't think you can criticise scoring, but then score 2 even rounds. It was a competitive fight.
Yeah, we're not trying to hear that even round bull crap, boys. Cut that out.
Yeah, actually, at 15 major media outlets, 12 had Pacquiao winning, 2 had Horn, and 1 had it a draw.
All right then. Well,
There it is.
the main no. the main party to know is how we collectively scored it. So let's have a look. So on the screen now, we'll go from round 9. This is our collective scorecard. So it's 10-9 to Pacquiao on round 9, and then that was the decisive round, 70-30. So was that the one where he pretty much dominated it? Yeah, that was the main reason given. Round 10 was a Horn round. Round 11 was Pacquiao, and round 12 was Pacquiao as well. So yeah, altogether in total between Howard's 7 scores, I think it was, we have it 7-5 in terms of rounds, 1-1-5, 1-1-3 to Manny Pacquiao. So the opposite of 2 of those judges. So what do you make of that? I don't know. That's quite interesting. 7 of us had it that way, and then the 3 officials ringside gave it to Horn.
Yeah, really interesting. You would think at least one judge would have saw what most of us saw. Pacquiao, getting at least 7 of those rounds. So, yeah, I just don't, I know. Well, let's go Roldan. She's the one that scored at 117, 111, and she's a very experienced judge. You see her a lot in New York fights.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think you get some of that stuff, and I will say that it probably came down to Horn being the aggressor, so he was drawing a lot of stuff, but I don't think a lot of it was landing cleanly. So, but when you're there, of course, ringside, I mean, you don't have the luxury of the replays or anything of that nature. You're kind of just seeing what you're seeing from your angle. So
yeah.
It is what it is. Sometimes you get these things. There's definitely been some egregious stuff that happened scoring-wise, and I don't think this was that. But certainly, I think that Horn might have got some credit for some of his aggression, even though it wasn't clean landing, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to come to the defense of Boz in the chat here. He's saying that he gives it 10 even rounds, and I know a lot of people in the chat are saying they're not a fan of it and they don't like it. But to be honest, I think there are more cases for him to be given than they are. It is a very rare thing, but I think that there are a lot of boxing rounds that really are quite even, and they could do with more 10-10 rounds. So I'm with you on that one, boss. Ignore the haters.
Watch a UK fight, it'd be 116, 114. I fall out my seat.
That was last night, wasn't it? One
Sure
of the
was.
scores, yeah. And Chisora,
I fell out my bed. I said, "Oh my gosh, why?" I could understand, a lot of round ones, nothing happened. And I remember in the Canelo Triple G fight, in the second one, there was one round where I actually did score 10-10, but I just think it happens a little too much over there. Over here in America, we just don't do 10-10s, so I'd rather go with that. Use 10-10 in a rarity.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Go on, Josh.
Yeah, they try to refrain from that, especially on the amateur side, at least how we're taught in scoring. They definitely want you to refrain from the 10-10 rounds because they're the notion that there should be a winner. But, it is subjective, and, of course, the pros are a little bit different. But, I mean, it all starts in terms of the work that you put in, the experience you've gained, probably starting on the amateur side and then leading up to the point where you turn pro and you're starting to judge officially in that capacity. But, anytime you have, that subjective nature of opinions and the view of an individual, it can make for some pretty interesting scores and controversy, but, controversy sells.
Yeah, and really, I don't think it was as controversial as possibly that it's made out. Having just watched that, it was, there were some pretty close and even rounds. It was a really good fight. I really enjoyed it, though. Very enjoyable watch. And I hope that everyone else did too, that came along and joined in. So I can see Alberto in the chat has well, I'm not going to read it all out because he sent quite a few paragraphs, but thanks for that. He's explaining how Harold Ledman explaining the thought process the judge has to go through to make sure he scores a close round, 10-9 for a fighter rather than giving a 10-10 round. Some interesting stuff in there. Mr. Info says 117111 Horn is nuts, and I think we all agree with that one. So yeah, let's move on. Let's start wrapping things up. That was a really enjoyable fight. We can just quickly have a look at the BoxRec schedule the next couple of weeks before our next stream. See if there's any interesting fights you guys want to discuss. I've not really put anything down on our notes because nothing really jumped out at me. Alex, is there anything that you're looking forward to coming up? I've got BoxRec open here. Does anything jump out that you'd like to discuss?
Man, well, we have the Ryan Garcia card on this Saturday against Fortuna. So, we saw Ryan Garcia in his last fight against Tago. You could tell he was trying to work on some things. One thing I think was clear was cutting the ring off is something that we hope to see. That is something we're gonna he can utilize in the future fights. Fortuna's not much of a runner. He's a rough guy. Maybe similar to what Horn is we just saw him do against Pacquiao. He may do against Ryan Garcia, because I think there are questions about Ryan Garcia's toughness, and can he withstand somebody that is gonna keep coming forward, that is not scared. So I look forward to that. Ryan Garcia is a talented fighter. Beautiful left hook. I think it might be one of the best single punches in boxing currently. So I definitely will be tuning into that.
When's that on? I can't see that.
It should be July 16th. There's a few cards this weekend.
I can't see it on BoxRec.
That is really interesting that it's not there, because it definitely should be. Because I believe there's a top-ranked card as well, because Keyshawn Davis was supposed to be the co-main event. He had to pull out because of illness. Or was that on Friday? Oh, that's the Barbosa card. Barbosa versus
on Fridays.
Zodia. Barbosa, if anyone can recall, was in talks to fight Teofimo Lopez, but that never actually went through. Seemed to be more rumor than actuality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to find it. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I was
That's
just going to throw
crazy that's not up there.
Yeah, it's not up there. I don't know why. Go on, Josh. What were you saying there?
Yeah, I was going to throw out. We didn't talk about it, but Bam Rodriguez put on a hell of a performance when he took out Sarissa Katsorangas a couple of weeks ago, and I think that he has certainly thrown his name in the mix as one of those fighters to watch who has that pound-for-pound potential. And I think the potential of him even taking on Inoue at some point, it may or may not work out, just given where they're at weight-wise. But the thought of that at some point is also another fight that I think could be exciting for the fans and one of the better matchups in the sport. But Bam Rodriguez is definitely the real deal from what I can tell.
Okay. So just having a look into the chat there. Alberto says Ryan progressed a lot in short time with Grusin as head coach. It'll be a good fight to watch. Buzz suggests Garcia got defensive finishes, I'd say. Yeah, both fair comments. Does anyone in the chat know why that's not listed anymore? Is it on the schedule of BoxRec? Not too sure.
It's not a huge card. I mean, Alexis Rocha is making a comeback against a gentleman named Samuel Cote. Lamont Roach Jr. I believe he's a southpaw. He's pretty. He had a good showing on some DAZN card. I can't recall. He's on the card as well, and nothing too big, nothing too exciting. I'm looking on badlefthook.com is where I got this information for the fight card.
Okay. Just having a look here on this coming Wednesday, I think it was, in Japan. There's a Superfly WBO title fight with Ioka versus Nietes. Probably butchered his name.
Nietes, that's how you say it, yes.
Yes, that's on Wednesday, so for the lower weight class fans, that would be a pretty good fight, I guess. Then we got Barbosa.
Yeah, Ioka, he used to be on pound for pound list last year. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Then next Saturday the 16th. Yeah, that's next weekend. This is in the UK, I think. Lennox Clark, Mark Heffron bit of a domestic, and a ridiculous intercontinental title fight as well. That's a British super middleweight title fight. Ignore the other one, the alphabet one. No one cares. Hamza Shiraz looks like he's on that card as well. Another one on a Wednesday, which looks to be in Thailand. That is a WBA minimum title. Man, these weight classes I have no idea about, to be honest. But I know Moonsri is didn't he used to have like a 50-0 record at one point, or even more so. He was like the longest, or longest reigning champ, or he had a record that was dead high. But it's minimum weight, and no one really cares, unfortunately. But for the minimum weight fans, that looks like it's probably a good fight for you to check out.
I can't say I've ever seen a minimum weight matchup, honestly.
No, I'm not sure I can remember.
Yeah, I've seen highlights of the Mansouri guy. Never watched any of his full fights, but I remember some boxing fans were putting him in that top 10 pound for pound.
Yeah.
I don't think they were really watching him like that, but they were just kind of throwing it out there, going with the wave. But I hadn't seen enough of him to even throw that out there. And of course, it all depends on the competition too. So, but he's still around.
All right. I guess there's not too much else in the next couple of weeks that's really worth going over. I'm sure we'll do a stream in a couple of weeks, and then we'll discuss some more interesting fights that are coming up later in the month and into future months as well. So I think that's a good place to end. Thank you both for joining the call as usual, Josh and Alex. Let people know in the chat how they can connect with you on Twitter and various channels and places. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh yeah, everything 86 Boxing. On any of the platforms here on YouTube, where I probably spend the bulk of the time, 86 Boxing. And you'll check out, or you'll see the stuff. Focus a lot on the history of the sport, but hey, come join in the conversations anytime. Yeah,
interesting stuff at 86 Boxing. Definitely check that out. Alex, where can people connect with you?
Yes, so I believe I'm a great follow on Twitter at the Vegameister, Vegameister, THWEGAMEIster. Same thing on Instagram. Everyone, please like the video, hit the thumbs up, share it. I believe we're providing great content. Also, 86 Boxing. Check out his YouTube channel as well, his live streams. Really interesting things, and I said it before. I love boxing to see and learn more about the history, what happened, the beginning of this beautiful sport. It's wonderful knowledge, and definitely check him out. Also, he did mention Bam Rodriguez. I think we do have to talk about just a little bit. I just want to put my little input. He's amazing.
Go for it.
His footwork, his skills. I didn't expect him to put on that boxing display that he did against the Rat King. I can never say his name. He has like 17 names, that guy. But he's taken down 2 of the 4 kings. I don't believe the 2 guys he took out were kings anymore, but still, those are very experienced guys that have never truly been dominated like that. Whether you want to say it's age, I think it's more styles. Those guys don't really move like Bam do. A lot of them just kind of just throw a lot of punches, and Bam is the new school. And I don't think anyone's going to beat him between if he chooses to go down on 108, doesn't look like it, he might stay at 115 or go to 112. I don't see anyone beating that style with his skills. So definitely he deserves a lot of praise. He's someone that we're going to have to pencil in on our calendars every time they announce his next fight.
Yeah, well and truly on the hype train then. and deservedly so, I guess. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to everyone that's joined in this week's scoring. It's been real fun having you on board. Kaiser Koba, my old co-host, thanks for coming along, mate, and hopefully you can come back on in the future when you're all good. Alberto, Boz, Mr. Info. Who else am I missing? I'm scrolling. It's great to have you all on and taking part. Hopefully you'll be back again in future. I think our next stream will likely be in 2 weekends' time, hopefully, and if not, then definitely not too long after then. We will arrange it. Look out for announcements on Twitter for the streams. That's generally where we post stuff like that. So I think that's it. I think we're out of time, guys. Thanks everyone again for tuning in. Hope to see you soon. Thank you both for joining the call as usual. And everyone, stay healthy. All right. Goodbye, guys.
Appreciate everybody. Take care.
Thanks.